'Cause it's just loose lips. I chat better than I sing, so go ahead and enjoy.
And from out of nowhere, like Absolute was a brand that I've always loved. People never believe me when I say that, but like I said, I used to be like an art fanatic and an art student as a kid, and I knew what Absolute is because before vodka, what vodka was, because of that guy right there, the one and only Andy Warhol. Like I've been studying his stuff since I was a child, so as soon as Absolute came along, I was like, Absolute's cool as fuck. Warhol worked with them, Herring's worked with them, Hearst has worked with them. You know, it was a no-brainer for me and ended up loving it. And next thing you know, I'm working at Absolute for almost 3 years in London. The global position came up to be the global ambassador. I applied for it like another 40,000 people did, and I just managed to.
40,000 people?
Pretty sure that's what I got told. I could be lying.
Look at that
I
little
could be making
drop.
it up for the gram. But I got the job. That's all that matters.
So what was your role in London with him?
UK brand ambassador. So the same job title, total different role. It was a lot more hands-on when I was in London, which I did enjoy. It was a lot more getting out there doing trainings. It was a lot more drinks development. It was a lot more being in the bars with the bartenders, just not actually making the drinks. Managed to get a couple of like star tender shifts myself. But yeah, like it was a lot more hands-on in London, and I did enjoy it. But I'm glad I had my stint in London for sure. I don't think I could live in London forever. I don't think I ever wanted to.
I was speaking with Prince last week. Shout out Prince always,
Prince.
and
But
he thinks that he's got another 6 months, if possible, in London. He thinks that it's a bit of unfinished business. He loves Australia, and he thinks he could. I don't think they'll come back. I think they'll settle there. But when they get the PT, the permanent permanent residency, it comes with you're allowed to be away for 2 years out of the 5. So I think he thinks he's got unfinished business with London. But do you think London for you've done it and you're just content with seeing it as when it was?
yeah, I'm content with my time in London. I don't feel I've got unfinished business there. I feel I've got a lot of friends there that I miss a little bit, but no unfinished business whatsoever. Like I'm happy not to be there, and it's kind of crazy where I am now because obviously I'm living in Stockholm, and like my initial thing was to like come here 3 4 years and then do something else. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, move back to the UK, move back to London, try and do something there, move back to the UK, move to Manchester, maybe even move back to Leeds, who knows. And ooh, I got into a real bad spot while I was out here, actually. I'd spent like the first 2.5 years of living in Stockholm pretty much alone. And when I say alone, I mean I was on the road all the time. My job role was 80% travel, like global travel. In the first 2.5 years, I've actually traveled the world and all continents 7 times.
What?
Yeah, it's been pretty full on. Like I've only
7 times?
yeah. In the first 2.5 years of living in Stockholm, I think I was in Stockholm 8 months in total, maybe 6, just because of the workload, and I had to be in different places all the time. That's why I'm still awful at Swedish. But like I got into a real because it was, and I don't want to offend anyone if anyone from work at tax here, but it's real tough to live if the only friends you have are your work friends. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
you do that, it becomes like just like lame, really. And I wasn't enjoying it, and I didn't feel like I was being myself. I didn't feel I'd found the people like me in Stockholm, and also like I was just constantly in hotel rooms alone, constantly with a new brand manager from a new market. So it's 2.5 years of introductory, like introductions.
No
Hey, you, yeah,
stability,
yeah,
no blossoming of like
yeah,
building a solid friend rapport. Like,
exactly. And it wasn't until I found like my good friends here, like almost like 2 years ago now, that I just fell in love with this city, bro. Stockholm's unbelievable. Like, as soon as I was like given the keys to the city, so to speak, and got shown how to navigate, and met my, I've got like 6 friends in Stockholm, right? And that's it. I've got 6 hardcore friends. They're the only people like I really give a shit about. 7 actually, just in case they're on. But you know, I've got my girls like Elian and Sinead. Love those bitches to death. And then I've got my hardcore boys, which is Kimbo, Storkin, Andreas, and Yol. Like these guys, like these 4 guys, really opened the door and let me in. They've all been friends for like 15 years. You know, it's a real close knit group. You know, like your C23 Kalam. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's exactly the same as that. Like these boys have been through it all, and for some strange fucking reason, they let this 37-year-old British guy into their crew, and we've all just been mates ever since. Like those guys are amazing, and just the way their friendship is has just turned my entire like preference of this city and this country around. Like I was ready to come home, but when I was going through like my dark times when I was here, had some time off work with depression and stuff, these boys would come around to my house every day just to see if it was okay. You know, I'd only known them for a year, but they'd come around with food. We'd sit, watch TV, smoke some shit, you know, and like just chill out. They were real, like they became more family than friends.
Yeah, man. They
And then
showed the care.
exactly, and you can't take shit like that like lightly. And then from that, you know, just my first real summer in Stockholm was like summer 2018, and it was glorious. But when we got to like summer 2019, like that shit was like the best summer I've ever had in my entire life. Like Stockholm's just a good city. You know, it's 14 islands in an archipelago stuck together. So you're basically kind of like always surrounded by water, and the water's clean. So we just go swimming in the city in the summer. We're all out on our bikes. We're going to our secret swim spots. We're barbecuing. We've got roof terraces. Like life's like good. Like people enjoy themselves here, but you've just got to break through the Swedishness of them and allow them to like open up, and then they're just cool as fuck people.
Is it cliche to say that it's really cold? Because I couldn't imagine you swimming in these lakes and the water around it if it's freezing. So is it quite cliche to say it is cold?
I mean, everyone thinks that it's like cold, like real, like really cold, like all year round. But it's kind of like the UK, as in there's winter and there's summer.
Yeah, seasons. And you get used to them as well, like accustomed
Yeah.
to when you can do what you can.
But the seasons are a little bit different. Like the winter's full on here. It can get down to like -10. I've been here when it's been like -10. You know, it's like full blown snowing. I've got a bike. I've got a snow bike. I've got like huge freaking winter boots and stuff that I never had. Like the first year I was here and it was winter, I like wrapped up in all my winter shit from the UK, went outside, and as soon as I got outside, I was like, well, this ain't gonna work. Because this don't keep me warm. This is not how we do winter. Like, I had to get taxis to the office that day because I couldn't walk or stand outside. It was that cold. And then, like, we used to have this older lady that used to work on my team called Bodil. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you need better boots and a better jacket. You know, you got to go buy the real stuff.
'Cause it's just loose lips. I tried